Welcome everyone. We are at the Nova Show, Real Estate Records. I'm your host for today, Karla Rivera, and I have my friend Karina Perez here. So before we get started, I just want to tell you a little bit about Karina. There's too much to cover, but she is a powerhouse in sales. She's been in marketing and an entrepreneur for over 12 years, which is so impressive. She recently transitioned into a business development role as well, and she is the founder of Snug Society, which we're gonna need to talk about after this. They are so cute and so comfy. Anyway, an indie author, self-published, right? And a dedicated boxer, so watch out, don't mess with her. She will beat you up. And she's a passionate woman just about personal growth in general, business, and living an unfiltered life. So yes, thank you for being here and doing this. Let's just jump right into it. I really want to know what got you into real estate in the first place. Was it always part of the plan or just something that fell on your lap?
It's actually crazy how it happened. I did customer service jobs for such a long time, like on the phones, just kind of like when I was younger. And then I left one of the jobs and I was like, I don't care what it is. I'm not getting into another customer service phone job. And so I was looking through the job postings on KSL, because back in my day, we had KSL, we didn't have Indeed. And there was this receptionist position at this, what I thought was a law firm. And I was like, okay, this will be cool. So I get, the position. My friend worked there actually, so that helped. And I'm the receptionist.
So you catfished yourself into it.
Yeah, seriously. Well, it was just a receptionist position, so it was fine. And then it turned out to be a property management company. And so the lawyer that I thought was there was just kind of like the in-house kind of broker lawyer, I think. Okay. Anyway, I went from receptionist to leasing agent to leasing manager to property manager. And while I was a property manager, it was actually a law passed that you had to have your real estate license to sign lease agreements. And so this is the middle of my job, I don't remember what it was, but I was property manager for a couple of years. Yeah. And so my company was like, it's paid for, go get your license to keep your job. I didn't ever want to be a real estate agent, that wasn't why I got my license.
Yeah.
And so then it felt so great to sign a lease agreement, because people would always thank me, I'm giving them a home, and even though they're renting it, they're like, oh my gosh, Karina, thanks for your help. And I'm like, I just came to work. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. And then I realized or learned that I could sell homes that. I was like, oh, that's what this thing can do. Yeah, this little paper, that's what it can do. And so my first deal was actually my first house.
Oh, the one you owned?
The one I owned, yeah. My first deal ever. And then I helped my sister and just a couple people. So my first year, I think I did 5 deals maybe, because it's not what I was
it wasn't your
planning
full-time
to
gig.
do. Yeah, it wasn't even a thought. I just and then I left that job, and one of my friends said, who I work with now, her name's Kathy Castle. She's my go-to lender right now, and she's like, hey, one of my friends has too many leads and needs help. And I'm thinking to myself, too many leads? That's, how can you ever have too many leads? Even this is 2017 or 18, so even then.
The market's not that hot.
Exactly. So I go and I meet with them. She takes me under her wing pretty much, Don Wolf, and everything that I ever learned in real estate was from Rand Life Real Estate. Shout out to those guys. Love them still. And ever since then, I've been full-time real estate.
But okay, let's talk about this, because you've actually tried to leave the industry a few times, right?
A few times,
and
every 6 months.
It pulls you back. Okay, and I do want you to tell me, real estate is not easy, right?
Yeah.
I think, at least if you're producing and efficient, what was a moment early on in your first couple of years, your biggest oh crap moment, you won't ever forget it, big lesson learned, and
a bad thing?
Yes, or just a learning experience where you were
sure.
oh, this was not something that can happen again.
I was helping one of my friends buy her house, and I wrote the contract wrong, and I wrote something about the closing costs, and I didn't write who would pay for them.
Oh.
So no, this is what it was. We needed $5,000 in closing costs, so I asked the seller to pay $2,500 instead of raising the price $5,000 and asking for $2,500, and then I had to fork over.
Oh man.
Whatever. And at that time, $2,500 was a lot of money.
All of it.
Yeah. Seriously. No, really. And I remember my broker was like, "You're literally paying, for your mistake, in literal money." So then ever since then, I've made sure that closing costs and prices were like spot on.
Yeah. Okay. That is a big oh crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's like, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, why didn't I think of that? Like, why would I, after like looking back, like, why would I only add?
Right.
Yeah. But
easy mistake to make.
Exactly. Yeah. If you're not paying attention, yeah. For sure.
Okay. Well, let's shift gears like totally, but also just to know how you've built this huge following and everything. Marketing is something that I think either makes or breaks a realtor. Yeah. Right? Like your presence is so important. And so what would you say is like the magic tool or a magic tool that you have implemented and that has helped grow your business through marketing? Maybe one that's a little underrated that like not everyone knows about.
The only thing, and I don't want to sound like conceited, but what's coming to mind is just like my personality. Yeah. Right? So like the things that I even post on social media when I blew up, it was like funny stuff. Like it was.
I mean,
like,
you are pretty funny.
Thank you.
So really real quick, we have to rewind. So before I ever even met you, I had already been following you on social media, and that was what it was. It's like, oh, all her stuff is hilarious. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, she's a realtor. And I saw you at a panel, but I felt like I already knew you. And then I'm like, cool, like I've been following you, like totally fangirling. Like, I like this chick. So
that's one thing that when I started teaching other realtors how to do this, that was, and hopefully maybe we can find it and throw it in. Yeah. But I was telling them like, make it seem like they know you. So I would get on and I would post my coffee, right? I'd post this, I'm like dropping my kids off at school. And so you're watching me and you're like
a day in
following
real
along.
Life.
Yeah. And so I've always said people like to work with people and not companies.
Totally.
And so when they think they know you, when I say that, I'm not trying to be condescending or deceiving, but you're not putting all your business out there. You're putting enough business for someone to think they know you, or maybe to know you a little bit.
Or the parts you want to share.
Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah. And so that's what I would do, and that's exactly how it went. Like that's what I would teach is just be yourself. You know, let people know who you really are, and not that they're going to be just another transaction for you, that you actually care, that you enjoy what you're doing, that you want to help facilitate them buying a home, because that's really what we do. Yeah. You know, like we can find the homes for them on Zillow, and I can send them 40 homes and they don't like any of them. So I'm not necessarily finding the home for them. I'm just helping facilitate that, right? And so most people buy one or two houses in their entire lives. Right. And so we're part of that like one or two. And it's like, make it memorable.
I love that. Yeah. So just like being true to yourself. And
definitely.
How do you feel, like, have you ever had a client you reached out to that maybe was a web lead and it just wasn't a good fit? You're like, oh boy.
The first time I ever fired a client was my first $1 million client.
Oh, wow. That's brave.
Yeah. And it was a Facebook lead, and he was like, whatever. One thing led to another, and I just had to fire him. He I don't know, he would call me like 8 times in a row, and then text me and be like, I knew you were playing games. And I'm like, my mom.
Oh, this sounds like dating.
Yeah, it was so weird. And he was a client. And then another one, and I posted about this, so I'm sure you guys will remember this. When I got fired as an agent because she wanted to list her house at a price that I didn't think it would sell at. And so I brought my son to one of the open houses, and I like jokingly was like, oh, like my assistant for the day, you know, like all of us do. Sure. And somebody that knew the owner like tattletold on me or whatever. And she like sent me a message and was like, why are you bringing your kids to work? Da 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 da. And she just was rude, and
that's different.
She fired me. And what's crazy is I had her mom's house on the market as well, and that house sold just fine. Yeah. No issues. So it's like, there's a problem here.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's nice though to work in an industry where, not to say you can choose who you work with, but you do have that ability to say we're not a good fit, hey, like, wish you the best, and walk away.
And like another thing too that I tell agents here even is when you go to a meeting, no matter what it is, most of us go in thinking like, oh, I hope they like me. Yeah. No. You go in that hoping, like, I hope I like you.
So do you feel like it is more of an interview process for you as well?
Yeah, definitely. That's cool. Yeah, it's definitely an interview process. You're selling at that point, you're not selling a house yet, whether you're at the buyer appointment or the listing appointment. There's no tangible item to sell at that time besides your services. Mm-hmm. And so, just go in there thinking like, am I even going to like them? Am I going to want to spend the next 30 to 45
at least,
days?
Right? Because I'm sure you keep in touch.
Exactly. And even before, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, like, am I going to want to talk to them for this long? Is it going to be a good fit?
That's funny. I love that though. So kind of just talking to speaking your truth and staying authentic and being yourself. I know that you have other revenues of income, and I do want to ask, like, do you feel like that helps support the business that you're doing in real estate as well? Like, do they kind of work hand in hand? They're so different, and so I have been curious about that. Especially like, sorry, didn't mean to cut you off, but like the Snug Society, I do want to hear about that. Like, what's the story behind it? Why you started it? And
So the books definitely helped real estate because they were about how to buy your first home and credit repair. So those were almost like marketing tools that I used. So
tell us the name. I know a lot of people know about your books already, but maybe just tell us the name.
Buying Your First Home, Simple Credit Repair, and then I did one for social media marketing that just helped other realtors build their business as well. So what I learned when I made those is when it was like 2020 and market was crazy hot, right? Yeah. People were getting their license like nothing.
People were donating their kidneys.
Yeah, no, seriously. But agents were also getting their licenses like it was, but they didn't know how to sell a house. And so during, somebody told me this, and they said during the gold rush, the people that made the most money were the people selling the shovels. So it's like when you have a hot market, what's the solution? Exactly. What's the tool? And so that's what I did with the book. So I was selling them not only to people to learn how to buy their first home, but to agents that didn't know how to sell a home that could get the inside scoop of how to buy it. So that's how that went. And then the social media marketing is I got, more into social media and marketing and got asked to be on panels and things like that. Same thing. I created a book. Let me teach you what I learned and how it worked for me. Yeah. And now you can learn it. So, Snug Society was, I wanted something other than the book, something else tangible. And I started dressing. It's funny because I started not necessarily dressing down, but like dressing down.
Yeah,
like
just
in my
comfy.
In my early years.
It's totally a thing now.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Right now it's a style for sure.
I agree. And so at my first years, I was always in the heels, always dressed up. Started dressing down, and then I was wearing a Nike tracksuit here. I'll never forget this. And I got a lead for like an $900,000 house.
Nice.
And I'm telling Courtney, I'm like, we traded outfits because I was like, I can't go to a house and it didn't work out. But I showed up in a Nike tracksuit and sold the $900,000 house.
I love that.
And then having conversations with other clients about
just
that.
Because you kept it real and still provided value, I'm sure, in the conversation. And
like what I look like isn't going to sell. Like it's what I know.
Yeah.
And even other clients, they would say things like.
So hold on, was that kind of what inspired it then? Was
like if I can sell just $1 million house in a Nike it was a nice Nike track, so don't get me wrong. And I was like, how can we make comfy
still
look good?
Professional.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that's where it started. And then the name, I was like going through talking to my ChatGPT bot because that's my friend.
Right.
That's my guy.
Where has ChatGPT been all
Oh my gosh, seriously. And then we, as in me and my ChatGPT bot.
Well, I love the name of it.
I know. It's like snug, like you're snug and it's a society, but it's like, it's still.
Like you can move and breathe. Yeah.
But also it's not like for everybody either,
Yeah. So do you have that on where do you sell it? Just online?
Online, yeah. Snug Society, snugsociety.com. The turnaround time right now is kind of crazy because I'm getting all these new styles in that I'm trying to figure out what's going to go. Yeah, what's going to go really good with the branding. I'm releasing a white like tracksuit thing.
Yeah, I love white.
Yeah,
so
me too.
Awesome. And also it's getting warmer and that's
exactly.
More
I'll have short sets and thinner sets.
Oh, cool.
So,
okay,
and a men's line.
As of now, is it just the sweats?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Well, cool. Thanks for telling us about that. Okay, let's kind of bring it back, right? Like, I did want to bring an interest to that because I think especially in an industry like real estate, it's super important to have multiple streams of income. And they kind of work together, right? Or it gives you an in with different networks, and then you just happen to be able to help them in these other areas.
Well, my cleaning company, when I had the cleaning company last year, that was definitely hand in hand with real estate.
Of course, because you can offer that service.
And and market it to all the agents that
I know.
You saved
me on
oh, yeah.
So, yes.
Yeah, and then offering it as like an add-on service or included in like what I do. So that definitely tied in a lot more than these things, but
awesome.
Cleaning wasn't for me, so.
Yeah, it's hard. Anything is hard.
No, entrepreneurship is hard because you said that in the beginning, and I kept tugging along, and this is kind of like a segue into what I'm doing now, tugging along with entrepreneurship companies, and people thought that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. No, I have ADHD, and I can't sit still to save my life. So it was always like, all right, what company can I start now? Yeah. And none of them were hitting, and I was like, well, maybe, there's going to be one that hits. And then I was like, not entrepreneurship isn't for everybody. Like maybe it's not for me, and it's just this toxic relationship of like ups and downs, right? You know,
or wanting the next.
Exactly.
And like, or maybe even just because I know you, right? Like, I think that you're also driven by the ability to accomplish something that maybe you haven't tapped into.
Yeah.
So I can see that being the drive as well. Like, I bet I can do that. And then, like, just going for it.
Or not even that. Like, I would wake up and be like, today I started a graphics company. It got to a point where my friends would call me in the morning and be like, Karina, what business are we starting today? You know?
Yeah, it's a new day. What are we doing?
But that's also not good, like, mentally, right? Because then it's like, I go home, or if I'm already home, and it's like, I need the next client. I need the next cleaning client. I need the next, you know, what am I going to do for my business? Did I post enough? Did I do this enough? Did I, you know?
Just having your hands in too many spaces. So you've kind of narrowed it down now, though, right? Into the 3 pillars. Okay.
Yeah, so getting into business development. Yeah, business development has been great because I can start new things that I don't have to finish.
You're like, and you're off.
Exactly. Like, you know, I'm bringing businesses in for this, you know, and I'm creating relationships still, but I don't have to take it to the finish line.
Yeah.
Let me show you what we can do, and then I pass it off.
Yeah.
And then let me show you what we can do, and then I pass it off. And it's just like, and it's so cool because I'll go to work, and this is going to go against anything, first of all, that I've ever believed in. And any realtor and entrepreneur watching this is going to probably turn it off after I say this. But I can go to work and go home and be done.
Yeah.
I'm not constantly worrying about the next client, the next this, the next that. I can be productive because that's what I need to do to just be fulfilled or feel fulfilled.
Or have your checklist accomplished. Totally, I get that.
And then I go
But
home.
did you find that even with real estate, like I think I'm undiagnosed ADD, so I would create these 5 or less item checklists a day. I still do it because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to finish something.
Only 5 a day?
And be able to, that the minimum, right?
I'm
if
minimum.
Don't do these 5, I cannot go to sleep because my brain will short circuit. Like I will lose it. So I think even now more than ever, right? Because you are not to say like clocking in, clocking out, but you have a set time. You're laser focused, and the industry is not letting go. You're having new people reach out recently. Maybe just creating that is gonna still be a part of the flow.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you're not going anywhere, girl.
I know. I've tried so many times.
Letting you.
It won't. It's like a toxic relationship. Like right when I'm about to leave, it's like, wait.
I
know. It's like, I'll change. I'll be better. And I'm like, okay, fine.
But this time I have someone that will qualify.
I know.
You're like, oh, okay.
Seriously. I mean, and somebody said it on my social media yesterday. They're like, you created a persona, an image of being your
over
realtor
a decade.
Yeah.
And not just that. I think it doesn't even matter how long you've been in it, right? But when you have provided high level service and you have a good reputation in the industry, people reach out, whether it's the consumer or peers, right? Like,
and speaking of peers, I had somebody ask me like yesterday, what made you, or I said I have a big girl job, and they're like, oh, I feel like selling $1 million houses.
I mean, that's a big girl job.
Yeah, and they're like, I feel like selling $1 million houses in Utah is a big girl job, and I said, yeah, but it feels really pick me. The industry that we're in with our peers and our colleagues is bad. Oh, they're not doing as much as they look like they're posting.
There's a lot of pressure.
It's that we're putting on each other.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I don't like, and I haven't liked for a long time. Like all these clicks and like I said, people will be like, oh, she's not producing as much as she's posting. Well, it's called marketing.
Yeah.
Duh.
Well, I think also there's power in moving quietly, right?
Absolutely.
Like you're doing your things on the back end and then let people see it once it happens.
Yeah. And
I know as far as it goes for you, you are confident enough to be like, sure, like
I don't care.
Let them talk.
Yeah. But it's also like annoying. It's like the Chihuahuas, like, get off.
Yeah, you're more of a Doberman for sure. For sure.
I know, like where are you?
Actually, that brings me to another question I had, which is, what do you think is one of the biggest mistakes that newer agents are making right now, like in our industry?
Taking any business, any and all business. So what I love about the Perry Group is they teach, they'll train you how to be a hyper local agent.
So you're more selective with your clients?
Yeah. Because
I like that.
And I get it. Like I'm driving to wherever. Well, what I've learned is, aging and getting older.
But why, right? Like, you can refer it out.
Right,
There's so many options.
But it's just some things are not worth your mental health.
Yeah.
Like firing my first $1 million client.
I bet that felt good.
It did. But it's there's just a lot of things that, like, your mental health at the end of the day, sometimes it's not worth it. And you can go and you can do the reels, and and this is coming from me, right? You can do the reels, you can do the Instagram, you can pretend that you're doing all these things, but what are you doing when you go home?
Yeah.
Do you like yourself when you go home? And if you do, hey, by all means, keep it going.
Yeah.
But really ask yourself that. Did I drive to Logan today and be pissed off because I was expecting to write a contract that day?
Right.
You probably shouldn't have taken it then.
No, that's a really good point. So basically what I'm getting is, for newer agents, you would advise them to be a little more selective and truly decide, like, is this worth my time, and will I be happy with the outcome?
Yeah. With whatever the outcome is.
Yeah.
And
whether I get a contract or not.
Yeah.
Am I still willing and able to invest in this time?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's worth it. Like, maybe I wasn't going to go to that $900,000 house listing appointment or buyer appointment because of what I was wearing. And had I not done that,
you wouldn't have got that client and this new company.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
that's where it's hard, because sometimes you never know.
Yeah.
But again, being okay with the fact that it might not work out, or you miss that opportunity. Like, I referred one out to my friend. I think I wasn't available or something, and I referred it out to him. He goes and shows it, comes back, and he's like, oh yeah, his dad and uncle need to buy and sell as well. And I was like,
you're like,
I would have
3
just gone.
for 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
But being willing to have those.
It is. Yeah.
No, I get that. And lately, I've been hearing this a lot lately too, and I bet you can speak to it, is whenever you say yes to something, you're saying no to everything else. And so what does that really mean to you, right?
Exactly.
Like, are you taking time away from your family? Are you taking time away from your personal goals? Like, outside of creating money, right? Everybody can learn to create money, but health, wellness, mindset that you keep speaking to.
Yeah.
So I love that that's so engraved in your being.
And that's the other hard thing, is that it took me 12, 13, 14 years to learn this.
Figure it.
So it's like these new agents, like, I can preach it,
yeah.
But it's also like you have to go through your levels of it, and you might not have the same experience as I did.
Or or they have to trust that what you're saying
it's like trying to teach my 18-year-old kid, like, what I know, and he thinks I don't know anything, and I'm like, listen to me,
girl,
but then at the same time, I'm like, yeah, like, you actually have to maybe figure it out on your own.
The fact that he's 18 is so wild, because
crazy?
you can't have an 18-year-old,
I
but
know.
I get it. Teens are just, it's the wild, wild west.
Well, it's not only teen. This is an adult.
And now adult. Yeah.
I tell them all the time, you're 18. Well, I'm an adult. And I'm like, legally, but even 19, like,
your brain is still teening. Yeah,
teening.
Totally.
I
mean, even in my 30s, I feel teening sometimes. I'm like,
I said this today. I was like, I can't parent myself. Who gave me kids? I can't even parent myself right now.
Who gave us permission?
Gosh,
for real. But sometimes, to be so honest.
But I will say, my kid, though, my kids, they're
solid.
They're great. And I don't talk bad about them being 18. It's more of the fact that, like, I'm trying, it's like a personal thing where I'm trying to parent them.
I have to be an adult to an adult.
Yeah. But luckily, like, God knew what he was doing, because if they weren't the kids they are, I don't know.
Yeah, I get that. Well, they are good.
They're good boys.
You've done well. And that's another thing. Like, okay, we're gonna go to the next, but I feel so strongly about this. When people show up in one way, it's truly how they show up everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Yeah. Because at your core, your values and what you stand for is typically the same, right? Yeah. So cool. And that shows up on your kids too, for those that have children. But okay, so kind of switching gears again. Okay. I know right now, really any industry is very tech driven.
Yes.
And so how are you seeing that affect the business? Like, do you feel, for example, we talked about ChatGPT slightly. I want to marry ChatGPT, so that's just a whole other level, but can't do that. So
yet.
Not yet. But hey, my life might be more peaceful. So, moving on.
Oh my God.
How do you feel about it all? Like, are you thinking, like, for sure, like, we gotta hop on board or you're gonna be left behind? Or what's your take on just the tech world in general when it comes to marketing, relationships, all of it?
Absolutely. Like, I know people that don't like it. Yeah. Or other people that say that's going to take over jobs.
Yeah. And is that something you think is even intimidating, or?
The only way it would take over a job is if I asked ChatGPT how to do your job and take your job.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is not going to do your job. I'm going to do your job, but
Yeah.
ChatGPT is going to tell me how to do it. So if you're not using these AI things, you are moving slower than anything else.
Yeah.
And it's not. And I said it today because I asked my ChatGPT about everything. Like he's replaced my therapist, I will say.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree.
Isn't it weird?
It's kind of embarrassing, but also so peaceful.
New fear unlocked. When I die, don't like read my messages. Like my ChatGPT history, delete it please before.
Dead serious. I had this conversation with another friend where I was like, "Girl, please. The first thing I need you to do is get my phone and delete ChatGPT. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, I keep my messages. I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah, pictures doesn't matter.
Oh yeah,
just delete
ChatGPT history, please. Oh my gosh, it's
I
embarrassing.
love it. Yeah, I ask it everything.
Oh, everything. Like rewrite the sentence, and that's why I've been buying more books lately because I feel dumb when I ask those things, but I know I'm smart enough to ask those things, right?
Well, right. Or here's the latest. I've had people reach out and be like, "Hey, do you know about this or do you know about that?" Even in regards to real estate, and I'll be like, "Before I answer that, let me hop on, see what I can gather."
I know.
And then get back to you. It takes 30 seconds if that. And then I'm like, boom, 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 and like at this point, right, you know enough about the industry that you can piece it together and be like, actually.
But then I would say it and think it, but then I would have ChatGPT write it for me, so it sounds exactly.
Yes, or in terms that people actually speak it.
Yeah, and understand for sure. And then it'll do like super crazy business things. I'm like, make it more personable, you know, or like
or funny, or it's incredible. I actually do love to hear this because I'm biased and I love ChatGPT.
Me too.
So I agree with you. People can either collaborate and evolve with it, or absolutely the people that are utilizing these tools are going to come through and make everybody.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Again, it's not necessarily that ChatGPT is going to take jobs. It's the people that are going to learn how to utilize these tools that are going to come in and
snatch them.
Yeah. Why do you think I have a job?
Yes.
A big girl job. Thanks.
You're like, I learned ChatGPT. Yeah. Well, and okay, so going to that, like you know, you've done the sales, the marketing, now the business development, and long-term relationship-wise with the industry, your clients. How have you built that and maintained them? Like, what's something you could share there as a tip for people?
For like the relationship with my clients, or
like how you maintain that moving forward, right? Like you get to the end of it, and then what's your process for that?
Like the closing, like after the closing?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I follow up all the time. I'm having dinner in a couple weeks with a client that we closed 6 months ago that was remodeling their house, and we get pictures and like up progress pictures, and then she's like, "Yeah, I'm done. And come over for dinner." So it's like, it's always a thing, especially if I have clients that are remodeling houses. I'm always asking for pictures. If they have kids, I'm checking in, you know, how are their kids doing? One of my closing gifts that I did here was like a gift for the baby. Like it was first birthday was that weekend.
I love that. The more personal they are, the more it's gonna.
I love giving out baskets, don't get me wrong. Like the kneaders baskets that smell like bread are great. But if I can learn something about them and give them something thoughtful. Yeah. Then, you have to pay attention along the way because you don't want to ask, like,
of course, the day of, you're like, do you guys drink coffee?
Yeah, exactly. You know, do you go to Target?
We've been talking for 2 months.
Exactly.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, so like, or even if you ask subtly halfway or something like that, just to make sure. I think those are good things to keep them thinking about you, is because I've had people tell me like, oh, my agent didn't do this, or you know, to keep you still in mind for that you weren't. They don't feel like they were a transaction to you.
Sure. Well, I love that. And I feel like, and maybe you can speak to this, the follow-up after is as important as your day-to-day routine to build the business, right? Because it is a lifetime relationship and they've trusted you to do something. So I love that you are doing that. Oh yeah, and I think a lot of newer agents could benefit from knowing this. Yeah. Like it's not like a check mark.
Oh, I closed it, done. Yeah. Oh,
boom,
done.
Boom, have a nice life.
No. Not if you want a referral-based business, which is something that every brokerage I've ever been in until now, I've been the anomaly because my business has been referral-based. It's been social media and referral-based for so long because of those reasons. And I'll tell the client, like, hey, I'm going to do a great job because my survival depends on me doing a good job. So that you can tell, you know, all these other people what it felt like and how I did it for you to keep that going.
Well, and it sounds like you're just as grateful for them feeding and providing into your home as they are for you and your education and all the services. Yeah. I love that. It's an equal exchange of energy and investing and all things. So that's awesome. So, okay. You have seen real estate in all the angles, right? And I wanna ask you what you think is the biggest opportunity in it today. like from all the standpoints, whether it's a consumer thinking about buying, selling, investing, or newer agents. In your perspective, what do you think is the biggest opportunity?
Oh, this is going to sound like a paid advertisement, but it's not, I promise. But joining a company like Real Broker, joining a team like the Perry Group as an agent, where you do still have a downline, right? So you can come in and mentor somebody like you were mentored, and you know, get paid for it, right? Help them through the better they do. Then you also get compensated, right?
Yeah.
As far as a consumer standpoint, another thing that kind of steered me away from real estate, especially lately, is like if it's a good time for you to buy a house, it's because you're ready to buy a house. That's it. I don't need to have an argument with you about interest rates. It is what it is.
Yeah.
If you want another 2 or 3% interest rate, either we're gonna get a pandemic or a civil war. And I don't know about you guys, but I would rather have a 6% interest rate than a civil war right now.
Yeah.
You know, not to get too far.
I mean, that's
into that
very
stuff.
dramatic, but
I know,
hear you.
but it's, you know what I mean? Like the reason we had those interest rates is because there was a pandemic.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of any other reason. Like it was because of that. And if you look at it over the last 20 years, a 6% is 100% average.
Yes. No, it is.
And then how many people feel like a prisoner to their 2% interest rate? I'm talking to
Guilty.
you. I'm talking to you and you and you and you. And I've talked to so many people that are like, well, I've outgrown my house. I want a bigger house, but I have an interest rate. And I'm like, well, who's really like a victim here? Like what, you know what I mean? So as far as
like so guilty of that.
Yeah,
like,
so many people. And it's like, yeah, I want a nicer house, and that's fine. Just work harder. Just kidding, that sounds mean. But for a consumer, like if you need to buy or sell, then it's always going to be a good time, because we don't know. There's no crystal ball to say May 31st interest rates are going to this, or June 5th. You know, there's no way.
Well, even tracking, right? Even the people that dedicate their life to this, it's never 100%. This is what it is, and the end. Yeah. Don't talk to
your cousin who has a 3% interest rate. If you need to buy a house, don't feel bad about it. I've had a few clients that I had told that to, and they were like, Karina, thank you for saying that, because my dad or my uncle is like,
about 10 years ago,
on me, or making fun of me, said I shouldn't do it, but I want a house for my family.
Yeah.
And it's like, don't let that stop you. Like,
well, especially with such a big decision that you need to be able to come to.
And again, is it for everybody's buying a house right now for everybody? Probably not. Right. And that's okay. Like, that's okay. That's why you have us, and we can sit down and do a little qualifying process, talk about what payment you're comfortable with, talking about your future, like,
and then see if that even makes sense.
Exactly.
Actually, that's a good point to bring up for agents and the consumers. I think that there's a lot of fear, or not even fear, but intimidation in getting together for those consultations.
Yeah.
But like, that's not an actual commitment, right? This is literally your time educating people and figuring out if it's even an option.
I do that in business development. I'll get a Fortune 500 company.
Like, let's see if it's
and I'm asking qualifying questions. Maybe we're not the right event production company for you. Maybe like your idea is, and this happens in real estate all the time, you have a Lamborghini idea and a Kia
and
budget.
You
know what I mean?
But like, let's start somewhere. Or do you want to keep walking?
Exactly. We don't know until we have that conversation.
Yeah.
So if you need event production space, hit me up.
Yes. Hit her up for all the things.
For anything, whatever you need.
Yeah, fashion tips, parenting.
Oh, no. Parenting and relationship advice is where I draw the line.
I didn't say relationship, girl. I know better, but it's all good. I am also guilty. Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
So on that, if you had to start today, like, knowing what you know, what would you do differently in real estate? Knowing everything you know, and today's your first day, Karina Perez is walking through the door.
She just got her license.
Yes.
Welcome to the Perry Group. First of all, I would join the Perry Group. Not a paid advertisement.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious.
I hear you. I'm so impressed with everything.
Crazy. The training. I would join a team for sure, which is what I did. Different. What would I do different? I would dress however I wanted to dress. For one.
That. Not feel the pressure to like.
And I know I'm dressed up today, but thank you.
I mean,
I did have a couple meetings.
Obviously, I'm a fan of Karina.
Oh my gosh, stop it. We're friends.
We are.
Good friends at that.
Yes.
We're Leo sisters.
We are. Love it.
Okay, so I would dress however I wanted to dress. I would be myself, and I would become a hyper-local agent. I didn't do that. I was taking
like spreading
anybody and
yeah.
everything I could take, and looking back now, like I prided myself, as I say, I was proud of myself for driving from Provo to Davis County and all over. And like looking back now, I'm like thinking to that real trip, Karina, and I'm like, oh honey, like no, like stick to where you know, because now if I sell in Harriman, I can talk about Mountain View Village and what's there and what's coming, and so much better than being in Layton. And they're like, oh, how's the neighborhood? And I'm like, you tell me. I don't know.
You're like, I've been here today.
Yeah, there's your value right there. It just drops.
Yeah,
so.
No, that's a really good point. And just being able to be like that specialist.
Yeah.
Awesome. Something I've been saying lately too is probably my favorite thing about this industry is that it's so abundant.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah,
I mean that so fully.
Yeah, definitely.
Like our industry is abundant in all the ways. There's so many different areas that you can tap into it, whether you are on the professional side or as an investor, a purchaser, a seller. And so being able to pick and choose or specialize is also powerful.
Yeah.
And I think people can really take a big note on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow, this is awesome. I'm so glad you even agreed to do this with me, which actually I'm surprised we didn't do this before.
Sooner, I know.
I'm like, wait a minute.
You're like, do you want to be on the
Why
podcast?
not?
And I'm like, yeah.
Yes,
Like,
I know. Thank you for
you
doing it. I do, like, is there anything else that you want to share with me, with the audience, with other agents?
I think something that I've learned with my boxing fight was...
Yeah, again, please don't mess with her. She
No,
will
I
kill
don't
you.
know.
Like,
No. Unless you
this
try
is
me.
the girl you
Just
call
kidding.
when you need someone to pull. Like,
You did,
girl.
and I'm like, yeah, I'm there. No, it's something that it's like, I had a date in mind. Not I had a date. I had the date of the fight, right?
Okay.
And I'm here. And I knew I was going to win. My mind was already set. I'm going to win, no matter what.
That.
And I couldn't change the date. I couldn't move this. I couldn't, because the event, Tony took care of everything. Bless his heart, did it all. Once you set your mind to something, it's like ordering something on Amazon, right? You can't change the date. Even if it gets stuck in
Sure. Or if it
bad
does,
weather,
it throws everything off.
right?
Yeah.
Nothing happens. You keep doing, and then your body, your universe, everything will align for that. So what started happening is I was getting good business, and I had enough time to go to the gym twice a day.
Wow.
Like everything was rearranging itself because I knew I was going to win.
75 hard.
Unintentionally, I know it was great.
That's awesome.
And it's like another analogy I thought of this morning is if you're going to Suite 301, you walk in this building, you're going to 301, right? You hit 301, you're in the elevator, you've already decided.
Changing it, yeah.
What you don't want to do is if you're going to 301, why would you ever press floor 2? And I feel like a lot of us do that.
That's a stop.
Yeah, why? That's not where you're going. Stop doing things and entertaining things that aren't going to get you to Suite 301 when you know that's where you're going.
I love that.
Don't change, have a date in mind, and it's a little harder with different things, but don't do anything. Like you order an Amazon package and
permission to procrastinate, and it's a disservice for sure.
Absolutely. Like I said, don't press number 2 if you know you're going to number 3. The longer that you take to get, the reroutes that you have to do, because you'll still get here, and that's fine. But
it's gonna cost
do this
for sure. Yeah. I love that. That's a powerful perspective to leave on. So thank you for sharing that. I do want you to share where people can find you. I know you already have a big following, but I'm excited to keep seeing what you do. I mean, I think it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. I've always been so impressed by you. So I'm like, okay, girl, what's next? Just tell me and I'm here for it.
And that's what I've loved about, and a lot of people have given me shit over the years about being out there like that, but for me, it's like somebody told me today how I inspire them. And the fact that I can wake up and live my life, no matter what, whether I'm recording it or not, and when I do talk about it, it does help change or help inspire somebody. Like that to me is I'm getting teary-eyed right now. Like that to me means so much more than whatever negative.
I feel like we cry every time we're together.
I know. Can we do this virtually next time?
Yes.
No, I'm joking. But it's just that, the inspiration that I can provide by unintentionally, because I don't wake up.
You never know who you are inspiring, right?
Yeah.
Like even before I ever met you, I was already like, I like this girl. I didn't know you were a Leo. I didn't know we had all these commonalities, but there was just something about your presence and the choice of words and the delivery of who you were that drew me to be like, oh, this girl is inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
So,
See, and that's what I live for. So,
yay.
Thank you.
Well, no, thank you, and we will see you guys next time.
We hope
hope you enjoyed this episode. Please rate us, like us, and share this podcast with our real estate community. The Nova Show Real Estate Record, sharing raw stories of real estate, failures, lessons, wins, and successes. This is all from Novation Title, bringing a different experience into your world so that we can all uplift each other. Until next time.